They say blood is thicker than water. That is one of the oldest lies in human history. Because if you wait long enough, blood clots, dries up, and loses its color. But money is always fresh. And when the right amount of paper is placed on the table, that thick bond dissolves instantly inside a plastic water bottle. Today, we descend into a darkness that even the neon lights of Las Vegas cannot illuminate. This is the story of two brothers at the peak of fame, transforming into strangers minutes before a title fight. This is Heirloom Scars. We are opening the file. The Mercer brothers, Jax and Elias. One was the fist, the other was the brain. Jax, the Hammer Mercer, was a force of nature in the ring. Watching him fight was like watching a building collapse, terrifying yet aesthetic. 28 fights, 28 wins, 26 knockouts. Elias was the man who sold that building. He had managed to turn every drop of his brother's sweat into dollars. Villas in Miami, Italian stallions in the garage, bespoke suits. Two kids from the gutter were now the poster boys of the American dream. But Elias had a problem. The spotlight was always on Jax. Elias hated being seen as just the champion's bagman. He believed he built this empire. But the collapse of an empire doesn't start with an invading army. It starts with a gate opened from the inside.
48 hours before the fight. Location: the Onyx. VIP message.
Elias sat across from Arthur Vance. Vance was known as the dirty glove of the boxing world. He didn't speak. He whispered. He didn't threaten. He bought. Vance. Your brother is a magnificent machine, Elias. But every machine has an off switch. Elias. Jax isn't for sale, Vance. You saw the odds. He's going to mop the floor with Sterling in the third round. Vance. Not Jax. I'm buying you, Elias. If your brother wins, you get your standard 10%. But the number on this paper, that is a number where you never have to be anyone's bagman ever again. Your own empire. The number on the paper was $5 million. Cash. Untraceable. The condition was simple. Jax had to lose. But not just a simple defeat, it had to be a knockout. The legend had to be demolished so the betting barons could make a fortune. Vance, you don't need to convince him, Elias. Just ensure he gets tired. Gravity will handle the rest. When Elias looked at that paper that night, he didn't see his brother. He saw the price tag of his inferiority complex. The big night. MGM Grand Arena. 20,000 people screaming. The air in the locker room was heavy, like the silence before a storm. Jax was a tiger, focused and ready. Elias stood in the corner, clenching his fists to hide the shaking. In front of him stood Jax's custom water bottles. From his inner jacket pocket, Elias produced a small silver vial, a gift from Vance. Colorless, odorless, tasteless. The effect: rapid muscle relaxation, blurred vision, loss of balance. It wouldn't kill, but it would turn a champion into a drunkard. Elias, this is for your own good, Jax. After this money, you'll never take another punch. We'll retire. You just need to fall tonight. Elias dripped the liquid into the bottle. 1, 2, 3 drops. He shook it and handed it to his brother. Here, kid, stay hydrated. Tonight is your night. Jax looked into his brother's eyes. He couldn't see the darkness there. He only saw trust. He took the bottle and took a long swig. That sip was the end of Jax's career and the execution of Elias's conscience. With the bell, Jax started like a hurricane. The drug hadn't hit the bloodstream yet. Jax was hunting his opponent, Iron Mike Sterling across the ring. Every left jab landed like a sledgehammer. The crowd chanted, "Hammer! Hammer!" Elias watched from the corner, wearing a mask of fake concern. "You're too fast, Jax, too fast," he muttered. He was terrified the plan would fail. Jax was so good, he might end the fight before the poison took hold. When the round ended, Jax returned to his corner like a king. "He's done, Elias. I'm finishing him in the second," he said. Elias handed him the cursed bottle again. "Don't rush, champ. Save your energy. Drink this." Jax sipped the price of loyalty once more. The poison was now coursing through his veins. When the second round started, something shifted. First, the legs. Jax began to feel the ring floor turn into cotton. Those famous dancing feet were now stuck in quicksand. Then, the eyes. Sterling was one man, but Jax now saw three of him. A simple hook from Sterling pierced Jax's defense. A blow that would normally feel like a fly bite sent Jax stumbling into the ropes. The crowd was in shock. Whispers of "What's happening?" circulated through the stands. Jax shook his head, trying to clear the static. "What's wrong with me?" he thought. "Why do my arms weigh a ton?" Elias shouted from the corner, "Hands up! Keep your guard up!" But there was no panic in his voice, only anticipation. When the round ended, Jax couldn't walk to his corner. He stumbled, collapsed onto the stool. "Elias," Jax slowed. "I can't feel my legs." As Elias wiped his brother's sweat, he whispered into his ear, "It's just fatigue, Jax. Just fatigue. Breathe deep. Survive one more round." And he pressed the bottle to his mouth again. "Drink. This will bring you back." The final blow. The final dose. Round 3 wasn't a boxing match. It was an execution. Jax Mercer stood in the center of the ring like defenseless prey. His arms hung by his sides. Sterling smelled blood. A massive right hook. Jax's head snapped back. Saliva and blood hung suspended in the air. But he didn't fall. That stubborn street kid spirit resisted, even as his body failed. This resistance scared Elias. He needed to fall. Sterling attacked ruthlessly, left, right, uppercut. Jax couldn't even see the punches coming. The world was spinning. He searched for his brother's face in the crowd. He saw Elias. Elias was looking at him. There was no sadness in his eyes, only a cold calculation. And the final blow came. Sterling's punch connected with Jax's chin with the force of a freight train. Lights out. Jax crashed to the canvas in slow motion. The immovable mountain crumbled into the dust. The referee began the count. 1, 2, 3. Jax tried to rise, but his body had surrendered to Elias's chemical betrayal. 8, 9, 10. Knockout. While the arena was in shock and paramedics rushed Jax away on a stretcher, shouting, "He's unresponsive, could be neurological," Elias didn't get in the ambulance. "I'm taking the car. I'll handle the paperwork and meet you there," he said. 15 minutes later. Parking lot, level C. The window of a black SUV rolled down. Arthur Vance was there. He didn't smile. He just looked like a professional who had completed a job. Elias approached the car. Vance handed a thick gym bag out the window. Vance. "Flawless performance, Elias. Your brother acted very convincingly." Elias. "Will he be okay?" "Vance, he has a rich brother now. You can hire the best doctors." The window rolled up. The SUV blended into the darkness. Elias stood alone among the concrete pillars, holding $5 million. He unzipped the bag. Stacks of cash seemed to emit a green glow. Just then, his phone rang. It was the hospital. "Doctor, Mr. Mercer, your brother, he's stable, but there is a strange toxicity in his blood panels. We need to run a toxicology screen." "No need, doctor. It's just severe dehydration. He cut too much water weight. No tests. I'm sending our private physician." He hung up. Elias Mercer was rich, but the face he would see in the mirror was no longer that of a brother, but of an executioner. Elias thought he had committed the perfect crime. He took the money, erased the tracks, and his brother was alive. But he forgot one thing. Jax, the Hammer, Mercer, didn't just fight with his fists, he fought with his instincts. And that night in the ring, the last thing he saw before the darkness took him wasn't his opponent's fist. It was the slight smile on his brother's face in the corner. Scars heal, but betrayal? Betrayal is a dish best served cold, and Jax Mercer has already set the table. Revenge is not a straight line. It's a circle. When Jax Mercer woke up in that hospital bed, the doctors told him he had suffered a neurological event, a nice medical term for your brain short-circuited. But Jax didn't lose his memory that night. He lost his innocence. And while the world thought the hammer was broken, he was actually being forged into something much sharper. For 3 months, Jax played the part perfectly. The stuttering speech, the trembling hands, the vacant stare. He let Elias believe the poison had done permanent damage. Why? Because a man who thinks he is safe is a man who makes mistakes. "Just sign here, Jax. It's the power of attorney. Since you can't manage the accounts right now, I'll take care of everything." You're the brain, Eli. I trust you." Jax signed, but he noticed something. The watch on Elias's wrist. A Patek Philippe Nautilus. $150,000. And the smell. Elias wasn't smelling like hospital disinfectant anymore. He smelled like expensive scotch and arrogance. Jax knew. He didn't need a detective. He just needed to watch his brother spend the price of his soul. While Elias was out building his new empire, buying nightclubs, gambling in Macau, Jax was working. Elias thought Jax was too brain-damaged to use a computer. Big mistake. Jax accessed the cloud backups of Elias's phone. He found the messages, the location data, the meeting at the Onyx Club with Arthur Vance. And then he found the bank transfer. Not the $5 million cash, that was hidden, but the laundering fees. Elias was sloppy. He was funneling the cash into a shell company called Mercer Holdings. Jax didn't call the police. The police require evidence. Jax required satisfaction. Whew. Arthur Vance was a man who hated loose ends. When Jax Mercer walked up to him, perfectly healthy, Vance didn't look scared. He looked intrigued. "The rumor was you were drinking your meals through a straw, kid." "Rumors are expensive, Mr. Vance. My brother charged you $5 million for a show, but he's a liability. He's spending the money too fast. Flashy cars, loud parties. He's practically begging the IRS to investigate us." "And what do you want? Revenge?" "I want a trade. You get your money back, I get my brother." In that alley, a deal was struck. Not with blood, but with logic. The syndicate didn't care about Elias. They cared about their exposure. Elias was a loud fool. Jax was a quiet professional. The trap was set.
1 week later.
Jax told Elias he felt better. He wanted to celebrate Elias's success with the new company. Elias was drunk on power. He sat at the head of the table. "I told you, Jax. I told you I'd take care of us. Look at this view. It's all ours. It's a great view, Eli. Jax stood up. He walked to the sidebar. There were 2 glasses and a bottle of premium water. Jax poured the water. The sound of the liquid hitting the glass echoed in the silent room. He walked over and placed the glass in front of Elias. To family. Elias reached for the glass, but he stopped. He looked at the water. Then he looked at Jax. Jax wasn't smiling. His eyes were cold. Dead cold. Flashbacks hit Elias. The locker room. The vial. The guilt. What is this? It's just water, Eli. You look thirsty. You've been running so fast lately. Did you put something in it? Why would I do that? That's something a coward would do. Are you a coward, brother? Elias stared at the glass. Paranoia clawed at his throat. He pushed the glass away, knocking it over. Water spilled onto the expensive table. I'm not drinking that! Jax laughed. A dry, humorless laugh. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. He placed it on the table. The screen showed a bank account. Elias's offshore account. Balance, $0. Elias, where is it? Where is my money? Jax, it wasn't your money, Eli. It was blood money. I just returned it. Elias, returned it? To who? Jax, to Vance. I gave him back the $5 million, plus interest. In exchange, he agreed to overlook the fact that you were about to be investigated for tax fraud. Elias, you gave it back. That was our future. Jax, no, that was my past. And here is your future. Jax nodded towards the door. The door opened. 2 large men in suits entered. They weren't police. They were private security for the casino. And behind them, Arthur Vance. Vance. Elias, we have a problem. You borrowed $2 million against that $5 million you thought you had. You betted on a fight tonight. Elias, I can pay. Vance, the account is empty, Elias. You're betting with air. And in Vegas, we don't like air. Jax had used the power of attorney, the one Elias made him sign, to transfer the cash back to Vance, but he left the debts Elias had accrued in Elias's name. Elias was broke, and he owed the syndicate $2 million. Jax, you wanted to be the businessman, Eli. You wanted the empire. Now you have the debt of an emperor. Jax walked to the door. He stopped, picked up a fresh bottle of water, opened it, and took a long, refreshing sip. He tossed the bottle to Elias. Elias caught it reflexively. Jax, stay hydrated, brother. It's going to be a long night. Jax Mercer never stepped into the ring again. He didn't have to. He won his biggest fight in a dining room without throwing a single punch. Elias? He is still alive. Or so they say. Working off a debt that grows faster than he can pay, somewhere in the back rooms of a casino he used to think he owned. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your enemies, and sometimes they are the same person. Case closed.